I'm not in a place where I can just hire, a secretary or whatever
Right.
for 15, 18 bucks an hour.
Uh-huh.
We don't have the budget for it. And,
Yeah.
and so between the church and my business, I was thinking, wow, I'm already used to VA supplying me. And then my mind got thinking about all that you were saying in the podcast. And I thought, what if I could figure out how to have a virtual assistant who
Uh-huh.
just helped me in life with a lot of things that aren't necessarily connected all business,
Sure. Yeah.
church business, whatever.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm very open to the idea, but I don't really even know how to gauge the cost on that yet.
Sure.
And I,
Yeah.
read your model about how you guys treat them well, you give them their holidays off,
Mhm.
and you try to treat them full time so that they can rely on a steady income, which I think is commendable, to be honest. I mean, that's pretty cool. So,
Yeah.
um,
Okay.
so anyway, I think the, is there anybody doing this that's a pastor yet that for
Um,
pastor?
I mean, there's lots of pastors that are doing have VAs, but not from us. We literally, I talked to a friend of mine in Indiana who's a pastor,
Yeah.
and he's interested in doing it. I think what's probably going to end up happening, depending on the size of the church and budget and stuff, it may end up being one VA that works with several churches, and you kind of just share
That would
time.
make sense along the way.
Yeah. So if I mean a larger church with a larger budget could handle a VA all to themselves, and smaller church may need to share it with somebody, and that's cool.
Right.
We're okay with that. So no,
Like I'll give you an example. Today,
Mhm.
I had this lady who says, Pastor, we need the bulletin, the monthly bulletin, because I was the place where the person who was doing, I don't have a lot of tech savvy people or
Uh-huh.
even computer savvy people, and so I didn't really have anybody doing the weekly bulletin.
Mhm.
And my wife said, why don't we just move to a monthly bulletin? And at least it's just once a month. You don't have to do it every week because it's a time consumer. I hate it,
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I moved to a version of just online only. And then, oh, we need a piece of paper, so, so anyway, I went back to paper, but I did it in Canva, which is so easy for me and it's
Mhm.
nice. So I just make it once. I do it in Canva, and it's kind of fun. I like it doing it, but I don't want to give the time to doing it
Yeah.
because it's tedious to me. I don't do it
Yep.
every day. I do it
Yep.
once a month.
Exactly.
So anyway, I'm doing that today, and it's eating
Okay.
up 3 hours of my time
Oh
already.
yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, and I'm not even done.
Yeah.
I just, so that's something I need.
Sure.
Um, I need somebody that can maybe help me with social media posts
Yep.
that are ongoing, somebody that can tweak my sermon when it's done and push it out.
Yeah.
But somebody to help me out with a lot of different, and I think it's got to be kind of like, I'm not used to having that person. So that's where a consistent person is helpful versus this person this week and that person that week.
Yes. Right. It would be a
Until
consistent person. Yes.
right, until at least I get a rhythm of, I know what I'm expecting someone to do and they know what's expected of them, so that even if it's not the same person, the rhythm has then been established.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
Yeah. What do you feel like are your biggest pain points right now? The ones that, because the Amazon stuff would probably be a different VA than the church stuff. And that's okay. It probably wouldn't be the same person for sure. But on
I
the
think my
church
church
side,
might even pay for it if I could,
oh wow.
nail it. If I can nail it down to, hey, listen, I got somebody that's doing all this stuff and this is what it's costing me, they might
Yeah.
pick it up, but I need to establish it and get it rolling. And I'm willing to
Okay.
personally pay for it until
Sure.
I can evaluate that it's worth it, because I need to be
Yeah.
freed up.
Yeah. So is it basically just those items on your list that you mark as a CH? Are those the biggest pain points? The newsletter, the bulletin, editing videos, and
Making flyers was another one. That was a CH underneath. I don't enjoy, but I'm good at. Writing grants would be another. I got this grant that I need to start writing,
Uh-huh.
And if somebody was like going through the criteria for me, they could just be emailing me, hey, can you supply me this so I can get it put in the grant? You know, I mean,
Mm,
that could be, I got a grant, a company we've gotten a grant from before, because we have our need to do new roofing.
mm-hmm.
So I need to get a grant in for a roof.
Okay.
So, I mean, I can
Yeah.
supply the info. I just don't want to deal with the format and filling it in. It's
Is
just
that an
secretarial stuff.
easy, is that something that pretty much anybody could do? Like, would you do one video showing here's how I'm going to sit down and do this grant? This goes here, this goes here. Like, how would you train somebody on that?
It's pretty self-explanatory.
Okay.
It's from, yeah, this one particular grant is not that difficult.
Okay.
I think if they had questions, then I could do that. If they
Okay.
didn't have questions, then they would just do it and keep corresponding with me. But I need to get it rolling, you know.
Okay. Nice.
So that's one. And then, you know, like my church website, I need somebody that's also creatively thinking outside the box for me too.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of like, hey, Pastor, what do you think about doing this idea on your website? Oh, you know, even though they're from the Philippines, they could be thinking and helping me be creative. I need some input, you know.
Yeah.
But that's not a mandatory thing. I
Sure.
mean, I get the task, you know, here's the task, do it, get paid, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
And as far as like writing art, I really like to write, but I'm terrible with grammar. So
Okay.
if I could just like do some stuff and then just shoot it at someone and they just kind of clean it up
Yep.
so that it's publishable,
Okay.
that would be another need. That's probably under I enjoy, but I'm not good at.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like, if I'm looking at the top right, I got 1, 2, 3 things there. The bottom left, there's 3 things there, and then the bottom right is 1 thing there.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just a start. I tried to work on this a couple weeks ago when it first came up, and I messed with it yesterday a little bit more. Thought I'd send it to you so we could be productive in this.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I mean, probably the next step would just be
testing it.
finding somebody and testing it out and just to do an hourly thing where there's we're probably looking at like $6 to $8 an hour. And so you could just, you know, give them a task and, you know, eventually they're going to get better and better at it. So it's going to take less and less time. And at any point you're like, no, this is not worth it. We'll just either get a new VA or just say, no, this is it. We're done. Test over. But it turns into something, then we can invite, you know, somebody else, say, hey, this is working. Got one pastor doing this. Now the VAs become really efficient on these processes. Do you need these things done? And
Right.
then essentially the VA would just track time for each church and tell me, and then we would just bill you for that VA's time just for you.
Yeah.
I think it's probably the easiest way to start, just to try it out. We're excited about this. Stephen and I have come up with a Wingman VA pastor service. We want to get pastors' time back for them so they can do what they are called to do. We want to help you get your time back. So click the link below to get your free download.